Everyone thought this penguin was slowly walking toward its death, but if you knew its true destination, it might bring tears to your eyes. For days, it had refused to eat or drink. Leaving its entire colony behind, it walked alone toward the snow-covered mountains of the south. Its legs trembled with every step. Its body was growing weaker and weaker, yet it never stopped. Other penguins tried to stop it, but it wouldn't listen. Everyone assumed it had lost the will to live. The truth, however, was completely different. Just 2 weeks earlier, this penguin had been one of the happiest penguins in the world. It had a mate, one it loved more than life itself. Together, they had gathered small stones and built a beautiful nest. They spent hours together, caring for one another and dreaming about the future of the family they hoped to raise. Soon, their happiness grew even greater. Its mate laid 2 eggs. The thought of new life joining their little family filled them both with excitement. In the penguin world, there is an important responsibility. While one parent stays behind to care for the eggs, the other travels to the sea in search of food. So one day, its mate set off toward the ocean to hunt for food, while it remained behind to protect the eggs. But that was the day fate dealt them a cruel blow. The sky suddenly darkened. Powerful winds began to howl. Within moments, a fierce blizzard swept across the entire region. Massive chunks of ice were carried through the air by the raging storm. The penguin covered the eggs with its own body. It fought alone against the freezing cold, the violent winds, and the relentless snow. Hour after hour, it stood in the same place, determined to keep its unborn chicks alive. Eventually, the storm passed. The penguin was exhausted and battered, but its greatest heartbreak was still to come. The force of the storm had shifted the eggs from their position, and in the brutal cold of Antarctica, the tiny lives growing inside them were lost forever. In a single moment, all of its dreams were shattered, yet it refused to give up hope. It believed its mate would return. Together, they would face this tragedy. Every day, it stared toward the sea. For hours, it waited. It climbed snowy ridges and called out into the frozen wilderness. But each time, the only answer was the sound of the icy wind. What it didn't know was that its mate would never return. While searching for food, it had fallen victim to a deadly predator in the ocean. Days passed, then weeks. One by one, the other penguins left with their young. But it continued to wait. Finally, one day, it understood. Something terrible had happened. That day, it stood in front of its empty nest for a long time, as if it were saying goodbye to the life it once had. Then it slowly turned away and began walking alone toward the snow-covered mountains. Everyone believed it was heading toward death, but it wasn't. It wasn't searching for an ending. It was traveling to a place where, years earlier, it had first met the mate it loved. At the foot of those mountains, they had once shared a promise. If they were ever separated, if one of them never returned, they would wait for each other there. The ice might change, the colony might scatter, time might transform everything, but the mountain would remain. And so the penguin kept walking, holding on to the last memory of the one it loved. People believed it was giving up on life, but the truth was something else entirely. It was keeping the final promise it had made to its beloved companion, because sometimes, in a world colder than ice itself, a promise can keep not only humans alive, but animals too.